What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Intern Show. It's Logan, Justin, and Ashton. This is going to be our Week 5 waiver wire analysis video. All right, Justin, it sounded like you had some pretty strong opinions on some guys this week. You want to start us off?
Yeah, definitely. I had D.D. Westbrook on the bench in one league. Just kind of picked him up, needed to fill a spot after a trade, and he did some things this week. He went 9 for 13 for 130 yards. Looking at the way Bortles was throwing the ball, 34% of the throws that he threw this week went in the direction of D.D. Westbrook. So I'm thinking he's probably going to emerge to be hopefully the number one there. I mean, he's got Dante Moncrief and Keelan Cole. Dante Moncrief is someone that's never impressed me, even when he was on the Colts. I always thought he was butt.
Yeah, he had some flashes, but nothing consistent.
I don't know. I think you guys pick him up. I'm not saying he's going to be insane, but I think he's worth having on the bench over a lot of people that are probably on your bench right now, and he has some upside.
And he's looking at a Kansas City team next week. Mm-hmm. Their defense has not been doing anything so far.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think
Eric Berry's still out.
Definitely in a deeper league, especially you could probably pick him up and flex him if you wanted to.
I think he's a viable flex play for.
I think that's a good ad. I definitely respect Keelan Cole a little bit more, so I wouldn't say he could be the number one. I like Keelan Cole in that role. I do think he should be owned for sure.
Yeah, he's only in 12%
with Fournette out, Blake Bortles shows that he can take over that offense and do what needs to be done.
He's been having some good games. That Keelan Cole catch the other week, though,
that
was insane.
That was nuts.
That was insane.
Wild.
They tried to compare it to the King OBJ. It wasn't that crazy.
It's not gonna get its own Super Bowl commercial or anything. You guys remember that commercial?
Never that. Yeah.
That was wild.
That was funny. All right, what are you looking at, Ashton? Who caught your eye this week?
Let's see. This week, I added him last week as soon as the report came in. Had to put him back on the roster because I drafted him in 4 leagues as a USC homer. But I'm putting Ronald Jones back on the roster. They finally let my guy put his pads on and play. He didn't do too well, but the whole team didn't do too well. He got 10 carries. I think he had 28 yards. But I think with Jameis Winston coming back, the Bucs really tried. Jameis Winston came back.
I know he came in. But do you think he's going to be starting?
He did. It was announced today. He will get his job back.
Wow.
That Fitzmagic.
That did not last very long.
2 weeks. He threw the gold chain on, and that was it.
Yeah. We didn't get too much Fitzmagic. He didn't take him.
So you're saying my dud of the week hit last week, so.
That was good.
You were setting that up. Don't make us talk about that. It's all right. Let me get back to Ronald Jones.
Yeah.
Ronald Jones is going to come into an offense that I think is going to try and rework itself because Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick are 2 different quarterbacks. And I just think he should be added and held on to. Just see what he does. He has potential.
Definitely.
Because they haven't been able to run the ball. I know he had a really down preseason, but after being benched and seeing it, he has to get it done or he can't show up.
Right now there's not really a clear number one in that backfield, and I think Ronald Jones could definitely emerge as that. For sure.
What you got, Logan?
One guy I've been high on for a while, it might seem a little obvious coming off this huge week, but it's Taylor Gabriel. I've liked this guy for a few weeks now. He's been getting a ton of targets, and he finally blew up. He's still only owned in 6.5% of leagues, but I think this is a no-brainer ad. I think he'll be a solid 10, 12 point a game for the rest of the season, personally.
Yeah. Then you have 2 touchdowns this week.
Yeah, 7 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That was nuts.
That was.
Mitchell Trubisky really out there and showed he knows how to play football.
Those touch passes.
Right.
Those touch passes, dude. Yeah. It's a PPR
a fantasy
dream,
point
dude.
is a fantasy
PPR
point
dream.
is a fantasy point.
Like we said, if you're not playing PPR, just get out.
Speaking of that, Trubisky, though, you think he's going to keep that up?
No.
6 touchdowns a game?
No possible way.
Dude.
What was it, 5 in the first half? 35, 38 points going in a half? I was looking at it on fantasy. It was 40 points in our league.
We went from a 5-point game to a 44-point game.
He played one of the worst secondaries put together in the last few years.
Yeah.
Due to injuries, due to youth. I think it was just a nice matchup, and he took advantage of it. He had a nice game. I respect that, but.
And they were pretty much just constantly throwing, right? I know
don't go add Mitchell Trubisky.
Say that.
He's not one of our waiver wire targets this week.
I don't know if, Tariq Cohen, did he?
He went off. He helped
Tariq
a lot
Cohen
out of the
blew up.
backfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
had like 30, I think.
I haven't taken a look at him. Yeah, I know Jordan Howard was not anything this week.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention.
That's because he wasn't on the field.
Yeah, it was a real funky game on both sides. Definitely didn't go how I expected. I really thought the Bucks would win that game on the road, but
Yeah.
I'm not a big Bucks.
did not happen. What's up, Justin? You got anybody else you want to tell the viewers to add for the week?
I don't know. Okay, so let's throw back to 2 weeks ago. You know, I'm a humble person. I'll admit when I'm wrong. But what do you guys think about Jordy Nelson? I told everyone to get rid of him,
Bro.
and all of a sudden I tell everyone to get rid of him. I got rid of him in my leagues, and now he's looking like a really good flex option.
I like that one. Yeah, I think he should be re-rostered if you let go of him. I think he should be held on to if you own him. Jordy Nelson's a good play. Him and Derek Carr seem to like each other a lot. You know, Amari Cooper is back and forth, and this was one of his down weeks. We'll see a lot of these, but Jordy Nelson could be that consistency that they need.
Yeah, he's had touchdown in the last 2 games.
Gruden gives him a lot of high praise. So
It seems like
Amari Cooper doesn't want to show up. Somebody has to, alongside Jared Cook.
For sure.
Yeah.
Who's a baller.
And Martavius Bryant just dropping touchdown passes. You see
Dropping
that?
them right on the ground.
I think what the announcer say something about calling a fair catch on that touchdown pass.
He was out there on his own, just dropped it.
Yeah, I think Jordy Nelson might have just been a victim of a bad matchup because they played the Rams and the Broncos first 2 weeks. And that might have been why he only scored 5 points.
That's true. That's a good analysis.
You know what I really liked about him? What really stands out is that Jordy Nelson caught that 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal. Like I think if your quarterback's going to trust you with that,
No, 2-point conversions
that shows some reliance in your receiver. You're not throwing that to just anybody on the team.
I agree. You have some guys that are good pickups due to injuries. Or first of all, Tyler Kroft I think is going to fill in for Tyler Eifert pretty well. The Bengals' offense has been going crazy, and Kroft is only owned at 0.4% of leagues, which makes sense. Yeah, Tyler Eifert had that crazy ankle injury. Dude,
That was gross.
Made me want to yak,
I don't understand how he's just year after
He was having
year.
such a
I
good
know,
game.
dude.
Such a good
And
game.
it just seems like it's different stuff every year too.
Always.
It's terrible. But yeah, look out for Tyler Kroft. At least get him up and you can at least hold on to him for a bit.
That is
See how he does.
That is a tough situation over with the Bengals because they also have C.J. Uzama.
That's true.
Their other tight end, and Uzama gets to start the games when Eifert is out, but they kind of split reps evenly. So I don't know if that's something you want to stay away from or wait a week to see which one it is. But
yeah, it is tough. Neither of them really did anything against Atlanta after Eifert went out, so it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, I think either of those guys would be good to look out for sure. That's a good call on your part. Other guys you need to look out for due to injuries is T.Y. going down in the Colts game. And they're on a short week against New England. They're playing on Thursday, so he's probably not going to be back in time. And if he is, he won't be fully healthy. So I think Chester Rogers and Ryan Grant are both guys to look out for. Ryan Grant's owned it a little bit more. And I honestly like Chester Rogers a little bit more than Ryan Grant being the number one receiver instead of T.Y. I think Chester Rogers they were raving about him coming out of training camp. And I think he could put up some numbers against the Patriots on Thursday.
what do you think about Nyheim Hines out of the backfield?
Dude, I've liked Nyheim Hines since the beginning of the season, and he just broke out, and I'm super excited. I think Nyheim Hines is gonna be putting up good numbers the rest of the season.
Remember, we had multiple talks about that's the guy they didn't know with the Mac injury. With
Yes.
two
Where
new
they're
guys
going.
coming in, we didn't know who was gonna be. We both thought
Right.
Hines
I
is.
think it was like
Hines is a
week
good
2,
player.
we were just seeing so many names come out of the backfield. It was just
That's another one of those guys who
What is
had
going
not
on
such
here?
a good preseason, but
Right.
in the regular season, you
Yeah.
can change that whole thing.
I think by the end of the season, he could be a guy that's like they use similarly to like how the Saints use Alvin Kamara.
For sure. For sure.
What do you guys think about the Colts against the Patriots on Thursday?
Dude, Thursday games are always so weird.
That's what I'm saying. No T.Y.
Always.
Always weird.
Patriots
Anything
look
happen on
great,
Thursday.
but
I
don't
think
know.
it could be a shootout, personally.
That'd be great.
I think the Colts could go in and surprise Patriots might be a little lax coming off this huge win against Miami.
Patriots are
Could
never
be.
lax.
Bro, but it's
I
weird.
know.
They're
This is
they're
the
weird
first
this year,
lax.
dude.
This is the first game they look like the actual Patriots.
I know.
I feel like the first 3 games.
I don't know if it's gonna hold up or not.
They're going about 75%.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
like how do you guys think about that 4th down call The Colts.
Oh, I
From the
hated that.
Colts.
I liked it, dude. I liked it.
No
I like
personally.
the aggression.
No way, do
but
not.
The
like
play
I
call-
didn't like the play.
I didn't like the play, but I did like the call to go for it.
I like the aggression, especially when you've already lost the game, but
Yeah,
That
I'm
is-
not trying to play to tie personally.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
think about it, if it's tie
You
or
gotta
lose,
go for if we could have gotten that and like gone down and scored and went 2-2, that would have been huge and like
that is
especially
the
for
outcome
playoffs,
makes a
like
complete difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
We would be talking about him for Coach of the Year candidate as opposed to should he lose his job.
Absolutely.
and you would think the defense could at least delay them a little bit, so it could
I
maybe go
know.
another time.
One big
I
play.
know.
But no, DeAndre
One big
Hopkins
play
just
for
comes
field goal
out,
range.
just takes it right down there, and it's like, ah, shit.
Terrible.
Now that way we tried, guys. Good
Yeah,
job.
that was tough to watch.
That was. DeAndre Hopkins made up for himself there, though. You see that touchdown he dropped to just end the game?
Yes,
In
dude,
overtime?
that was
Literally
terrible.
laid down with it, let the ball roll off.
Oh,
That was
That's
my
one of those-
heart stopped in the half.
That's one of those
Yeah.
he normally brings in.
That's one that most people look like they could bring in. The thing was laying on his chest. I could have held that. Jeez.
Oh, whoa.
I'm not saying I would have made the catch, but if I got to the point
Yeah,
where I was
do you
laying
have
there with the
Hopkins
ball,
now?
I could have held it. Now, there's a reason I'm sitting here analyzing them and not playing.
And not,
Let's
not,
be
not
honest.
out on the
Was
field
those
on Sunday.
concussions?
All right, so I got another. I have another ad for the week. This is a guy just like Blake Bortles, whose starting running back has been out and injured, on and off the field, and he still gets it done. He still puts up points. He still gets wins, and he's still a viable fantasy quarterback, and that's Andy Dalton. Bill Lazor has come in and really revamped that offense as a whole, passing wise, and since coming in, Andy Dalton has been a top 10 quarterback, both fantasy and real life stats.
Red Rifle.
And his next 5 games are cake. He has 4 games at home, and in those 5 games, he gets to play Miami, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and New Orleans. Teams who will score a lot of points. A few of them that will score a lot of points on the other side of the ball. So the Bengals should have to pass and get to the end zone, and the defenses are terrible.
Those 3 in a row are really interesting to me. Pittsburgh, KC, Tampa Bay. That's 3 weeks
Should
you
be
got your
fun
quarterback
games.
locked in for Andy
Yeah.
Dalton. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
In my number 1 priority league, my biggest question was quarterback. I think Andy Dalton will fill that void for the next 5 weeks at the least.
It's a good pickup.
Yeah. If he's out there and you need quarterback help, go at him. Andy Dalton will be a top 12 quarterback moving forward for the time being.
I like that game-winning drive he had this week. I think it
Yeah.
was amazing.
That was
That
nice.
was clutch.
That was nice. That was cool.
That's
He
pretty
seemed
good.
he seemed really composed right
And you knew if they were going to get it done, it was going to be an Andy Dalton to AJ Green connection.
No, dude, I know you've been a little down on John Ross, but he's a solid number 3 wide receiver on that team. I think they got a pretty good core. I think, especially when Joe Mixon comes back,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a scary
I
offense.
can't wait for Joe Mixon to come back. But hey,
Yeah,
Giovanni
I bet.
Bernard's done a great job
No, he's
taking
done
over.
really
I mean,
well.
it's he's done a lot better than I even thought. I was high on him,
I agree.
but yeah, didn't John Ross tweak his leg? Did he finish
Yeah,
out
on
the game?
that not long touchdown because Andy
Yeah.
Dalton underthrew him.
Tweaked his leg a little
Little
bit, but he'll probably be all right.
It was okay though.
He'll
Still a
bounce back.
tutter. All right, Justin, you got any more guys you want to talk about?
I think Chris Carson, who he was out for the week with something. Mike Davis stepped in, had a crazy game.
Watch Mike Davis.
Yeah, Mike Davis.
What's up with that?
Who
There-
is that? I
There
don't
is
know.
nothing. There is nothing that ties the Seahawks to Chris Carson. That's not like.
You think so?
No, they don't have a. That's not
They
their
just- they want
go-to
the
running
best
back.
player.
They will put whoever they need to out there to get rushing yards and to help
Yeah, I
Russell
mean, I
Wilson
agree.
pass the ball.
I mean, Mike Davis, 100 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions. I mean, that is the best we've seen out of the Seahawks backfield.
In years.
Probably putting
For
Chris
sure.
Carson and Rashad Penny together.
In years.
Definitely. Yeah. I don't know, watch out for him. Chris Carson's supposed to be back on Sunday, but that doesn't mean he's not going to lose time to Mike Davis after the week he had.
I think he'll definitely lose some time, if not a lot of it.
I think Rashad Penny's probably just going to
Rashad
lose
Penny.
all his time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rashad Penny's kind of that versatile guy who will be on the field to. I don't want to say catch passes because he's not a pass catching back, but just comparing running back style to running back style, I think the emergence of Davis hurts Chris Carson for
Wow.
sure more than Penny.
I find it tough really to pick any one guy, especially to these 2, but really these 3-headed running back fields.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of tough for me.
I'd still stash Mike Davis.
Oh,
he's
for
he's
sure.
definitely on the waiver.
For
I'd be
sure.
shocked if someone had, but yeah.
And you never know like what
I don't
injuries
know
are
that
gonna
I'd
happen.
even start him. I mean, just because we don't know if Chris Carson does come back and does remain
Yeah,
the
I
number
wouldn't-
one. It's just not really worth it. I don't think.
Yeah, I wouldn't start him just
Having
yet.
him though could be good.
No, I agree.
If you while we're talking about three-headed backfields, if you're an owner of Sony Michel or an owner of James White, that Rex Burkhead injury was an
Pretty
early
nice.
Christmas present.
Yeah.
The best
You
thing that
have
could happen
two
for him.
very solid running backs now who are completely different running backs,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll each get it done in the Patriots' offensive schemes.
I think after this week, the Patriots are starting to look like how they did last week, where they have a couple running backs where you could probably start every week.
Yeah.
That's kind of how they were last year too.
Yeah.
The whole year.
Or back
Exactly.
when they had LeGarrette Blunt.
Yeah.
He
Dude, look at him. He
That
led
was
the league
50,
in touchdowns.
50 goal line
That
That
touchdowns.
was
Yeah.
wild.
Jeez, I remember
That
him.
was crazy.
One year, he just knocked the Colts right out of the playoffs on the
Oh
goal
my
line.
God, that's
It's
not
depressing.
But yeah, I
Impressive.
think both running backs will be very solid going forward.
Yeah.
Of course, there will be
I
games where game script favors one more over the
Yeah.
other.
One gets all the touchdowns.
Yeah.
but Who knows? I think they're both gonna have good games.
For sure, I completely agree. I'm in trade talks right now. Want to know if you guys can help me out? Literally
Oh, yeah,
texting.
dude.
I have
Listen.
to give up one of 3 running backs: Kerryon Johnson, Aaron Jones, or Dion Lewis.
I
Who
would-
over the rest of the season could you part with over the other 2?
I would go with. Who are your other running backs on your team?
Let me look.
Right now, my gut says.
I'm kind of thinking Deion Lewis.
I'm not. I was
My
thinking
only other
Aaron
running back
Jones.
besides Ronald Jones, my only other running back is Zeke Elliott.
I'm thinking Aaron Jones personally.
Oh,
Because of
Aaron-
that three, just because it's just
Yeah.
like what I was just talking about. It's a 3-headed backfield,
Those are hard to keep up with and
and
hard
I
to
think
rely
I'm
on.
very high on Kerryon Johnson.
They all really
Or you
are.
go-
Yeah.
Kerryon
Kerryon
Johnson is with
He's a
LeGarrette
beast.
Blunt and
Yeah, but I think
Theo
Kerryon
Theo
Johnson
Riddick,
is a
they-
clear number 1 right now.
Yeah, I think Kerryon is.
I
not
think he's
even in the
emerging for
conversation.
number 1.
think so.
Yeah, and I don't think Aaron Jones has separated himself, especially because Ty Montgomery is like such a playmaker in that backfield.
I think Ty Montgomery is doing a lot more pass catching though than like
I
he was
agree.
like literally running routes.
No,
Wasn't
yeah,
he-
definitely.
So
Yeah, he used to be a wide up. Damn, I really wanted you guys to say Dion Lewis.
I said Deion Lewis.
You
You
know,
said Deion Lewis.
I said Deion Lewis.
I like
I think
Deion
Aaron
Lewis.
Jones is gonna over time get there. I mean, it was
I agree.
what was it his second week back?
I think I
First
could
week
part
back?
with Dion Lewis. 4 rushes, 0 yards,
But yeah, Kerryon
9
Johnson.
receptions, 66 yards.
Definitely not
That's always
Kerryon
my
Kerryon Johnson
PPR.
shouldn't have been a part of that conversation. In my
Gotcha.
opinion, I think that is the key for the year.
Definitely.
Right there.
Gotcha, I appreciate
They're
it.
definitely ahead of him for sure.
But yeah, we've been talking about all these different backfields. Kenyon Drake, what the hell?
What's going on in
Yes.
Miami?
I mean, do we drop him at this point? I mean, I
We
know he
could.
went pretty early in drafts, but I mean, this week he had 16 total yards. Last week he had 10 total yards. Like,
And they activated their rookie, just
Yeah.
like the Bucks did.
Really.
Kalen Balaj, finally let him dress and play. I think they're starting to
I think they're gonna
realize they got to do something different in that backfield.
He's not
so.
getting it done. I mean, the Dolphins have looked great on their own, but that backfield, oof.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I think he might be a guy you hang on to for a little bit longer and see if he can
Right,
turn it
it's
around,
early.
But
It's early. If you
it
use
is also tough that if you're a playoff team, week 15 and 16, Miami plays even 14. They play New England, Minnesota, Jacksonville, 14, 15, 16.
oh man,
So
that's something you
tough.
should always look at.
Yeah.
If and when you make the playoffs, you got to get that lineup straight and figure out who can play and start for you with good matchups.
Dude, speaking of looking ahead to the playoffs, one guy that I'm really high on still, even though he hasn't been doing too well recently, is Dalvin Cook. He missed the game against the Bills due to injury, and he came back on a tough Thursday night matchup against the Rams. I don't think he wasn't fully 100% yet, and he still might not put up huge numbers against Philly this next week. But I think looking farther ahead, especially towards the playoffs, if you make it that far, Cook is going to have some great matchups, especially weeks 14, 15, and 16. The Vikings play Seattle, Miami, and Detroit. And I think those are all pretty favorable matchups for that loaded Vikings offense and Cook. What do you guys think?
I like it. Going into the season, you saw a lot of people like watch Latavius Murray take all the goal line runs, watch him steal all of his touches. I don't think that's going to be the case. We can't see that for sure yet, but just the running game in Minnesota as a whole has not really come to form yet.
Right.
Yeah, it's
And
got
when it does, I think that's Dalvin Cook's job.
I agree for sure.
I think he's definitely going to get better. I mean, he has
too.
to. I don't think he's going to maintain these 2-point weeks. No, definitely not.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that wraps it up for our Week 5 waiver wire analysis. A lot of guys out there you could target who are still available, who will be solid fantasy options. We haven't really seen our Alvin Kamara's of the year yet, but there are guys who could get you wins and get you good, substantial fantasy points. So we'll be back to you guys on Thursday before it's time to lock in your lineups.
Yeah,
Bring a
make
lot
sure
of
you
more.
guys hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on, so you guys know when we post our next video.
Yes, sir. We'll see you guys on Thursday.